Hey, what's going on? God bless Electrician here. Welcome to our channel once more. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like and share the videos and click that notification bell so you never miss another video. So today we will be servicing some air conditioner. You can see one in the background here. There are about 3 of them. Now what the reports I've gotten is that they're not cooling enough, and they've been installed for about a year now, all 3 of them. And I'm gonna flip the camera in a bit to show you guys what they look like. But the reports are that it's not cooling, and I know that they was installed by us, but we've been called a lot of times, a lot of things we didn't do to fix problems as they arise. But basically they are not cool enough, and they figured more or less that it need to be cleaned or serviced, and it makes the place really hot. As you can see, I'm in the building and I'm sweating already, even though they're not on as yet. So we just arrived here. We're gonna show you what they look like, and we'll be showing you the necessary steps in cleaning the AC, and also to really diagnose if it really needs cleaning. All right, so let's get to it. All right, so this is one of the air conditioners. There are 36,000 BTU units. As you can see, this one was actually turned off with the air vent open. But we're gonna turn them on. The first thing you wanna do as a technician when you get a call to clean an air conditioner, you want to test the theory. What I mean by testing the theory, you wanna test if what the customer says is the problem, that is indeed the problem why the unit isn't working. So if you look, there's 3 of them here. One is down there. This is kind of a makeshift church. I think it's rented by a church, and they use it for the services and all that. So that's one down there, and I'm gonna show you the other one, which is, I'm rotating the camera here slowly. It's actually behind that wall. Let me see. That's the other one. Also turned off with the vent open. Now this is a very key thing when you having these air conditioner. You want to ensure when you press that off button, you actually ensure that the vent is closed before you actually turn off the main switch or something. Because looking at it now, that's a prime way for dust to actually creep up inside of those coils. So that's a red flag right away. But we're gonna turn them on, and we're gonna grab the remote here, and we're gonna test the theory to find out if these things are actually cooling indeed. So we're gonna go ahead and grab that remote, and we'll show you guys how it's done. All right, so we have the remote here, and I'm actually videoing solo today, so basically I'll be all doing the videoing and the work, so hopefully we can have that relationship worked out real well, because it's a Saturday. Most of the guys who work along with me, they're taking the weekend off and all that. So here we go. If you look at the remote, it's set to 16 and it's on dry mode, and that could be a problem as well, but we're gonna see what happened. Let's see. Turn it on here. Oh, this stuff is not. Let me check that switch. Wait a minute. There is a isolator switch. Hold on. Let me try to get this camera back in focus here. Okay. So we're getting a little bit closer and closer. This isolator switch is in the off position. And we're gonna turn it on. You hear that thing clicks up there. Let's give the camera a chance to focus here. All right, and then now it's already set to 16. Let's see what it does. Because it was actually turned off while it's in operation. So if you realize the remote is on dry, we're gonna set that mood to cool, right? Because if it's in dry mode, it's not gonna click on that compressor, right? So we're gonna see if that's the problem. That's why I said we have to test the theory. And if you look at that vent, you wanna watch the vent. And we know, look at the bottom of the AC, you can see actually, I don't know what's wrong with this camera here. Yeah, but if you look at it, you see some dirt or so. We're still gonna clean this stuff, but we wanna really test if that's the real reason why it's not working, and ensure that it's not any bad input on the remote. So I think about remotes when you're doing with these split units here, you gotta ensure that it's in the cool. You see that snowflakes that says cool, and then 16 degrees Celsius is the lowest setting it can be on. That's how cold, that's the coldest setting basically. So if I try to go down further, press down, it's not gonna move from 16. And then that fan, also you want to look for the fan button here. Some remotes has the word fan on it, and you want to take it from auto and actually put it up to like 100%, because you want that fan to really spin fast to blow that cold air down here. All right, so we're gonna have that one, and then we're gonna do the same thing to the other two rather, that's inside here. And we're gonna test it for about 10 minutes, and we are gonna see how cool is it inside here, because we are testing the theory before we actually start doing anything at all. So let's go. All right, guys, so another thing you wanna do is to check the outdoor unit before you do anything else. Ensure that it's coming on, the fan is spinning, and you wanna put your hand there, and from that AC unit, you should be feeling hot air coming out of that condenser, right? And then you can put your hand, this technician didn't do a wonderful job with his pipes. As you can see, the copper pipes are left open to sunlight, which is a code violation and all this kind of stuff. Well, that's not really too much of our business today. This can be corrected in the future, but we're just here to correct a problem. This really doesn't really prevent it from working, but it should be done properly nonetheless. But if you put your hand on it, you should be feeling cold, because all of this is coming from the evaporator inside, where the refrigerant, or as person call it, the gas circulate. And then we're gonna go down to the other units. We're gonna verify if they're working as well. And we go and walk into this one here. Put your hand there, hot air coming out, and you can put your hand on one of the pipes, and it should be cold. This one should be cold as well. Both of them circulate through the evaporator. Now this one is at a little distance, and that kind of much thing, you know, all these stuff. But what I've learned is that these stuff are actually temporary. It's a huge mess up here. All right, but nevertheless, we'll put our hand there, and it's basically cold. Warm, and the pipe is cold, and you touch it just the same. So we verified that the outdoor unit is in fact working, meaning the compressor is working, because you're feeling that hot air. So those are basic tricks with no tools, right? So we're gonna go back down to the indoor unit, and we're gonna take it the next step further now to verify why this unit is not cooling. So let's go. All right, guys, so it's been roughly about 10 or 20 minutes, and I'm feeling the air conditioner very well. So we need to find out now. We're gonna have to dig a little bit deeper. It could be, you know, the funny thing, it could have been a bad functioning on the remote. Somebody's operating the remote who doesn't know how to operate it. They have to operate it like how I showed you guys earlier. But I got my ladder all set up here, and we're gonna do some measurements. Now I have this clamp meter that, you know, we use it to do electrical work as well, but it also comes with a test probe. This is the Total brand meter. You know, you can see the rough work on it we've been doing. You know, electrical work is not always that neat, definite, you know, like a secretary job. It's a rough work a lot of times. But anyways, enough of that. But this is it can actually measure temperature. So we have our test probe for measuring temperature. And the first thing, because I'm doing this solo, I'm videoing solo, so give me a second here. The first thing I want to do is actually put this, we're going to put it to temperature mode, which is that thing that you see, degrees Celsius and Fahrenheit. So what I'm going to do is to press the function button here, a sec. Oh, and it should actually give me the betterment of the degrees Celsius reading, which you can see. The top part measures Fahrenheit, and the bottom part measures degrees Celsius. Now, right away, it started telling me the ambient temperature of the room, which is roughly about 26. I just dropped to 27 now. The further I step away from the unit, if I go to the middle of the room here, I get about 27.7. Now that, and it's going up, it's still going up. So, you know, it's actually getting hotter the further away I move from the unit. I don't know if because it's on to 20 minutes or, you know, it needs more time to cool it down better. But nevertheless, we are going to measure the vent pressure on the AC unit. So it is like when you have an ambient temperature of 28 or 27 degrees Celsius, for a fully normal air conditioner that's working, when you put your probe into the vent, you should get below 20 degrees Celsius. And we're gonna measure that. So we're gonna, you know, climb up this ladder here. You're gonna have to bear with me here because as I said, I'm videoing solo today. So you're gonna have to bear with me a second here. And we're gonna climb up to that AC vent and do a measurement. So just bear with me a second here. Let's see if I can actually get up there. Yeah, so you guys are at work with me today. All right, so I'm gonna try to clip this thing here, right there, to actually hold it in place while we try to do a measurement and all of that, and you know, see what can be done here. And then we're gonna grab the probe and we're gonna plug this probe into the vent that's blowing out, the air that's blowing out there. We're gonna just press it right about there and we're gonna look. And as you can see, immediately it drops to 16 degrees Celsius to 50. And that's very normal for this air conditioner, for this one. And we're gonna do it the same one, the same procedure for the other ones. But this AC is functioning quite fine. And we're just gonna look. We believe that it's probably do need some cleaning. Why it's not really cooling outside effectively. So we're gonna have a look here. Before we actually test the other units, we are going to look at the you know, the outer rest of them. We're gonna take this off the vent, free the vent a bit. And we're gonna open up the tap cabin while it's still working. Let's see what we have here. Whoa, and already we're seeing dirt. Oh my God, whoa. This unit is dirty. Oh yeah, man, this is definitely, the theory test is quite fine. Now we're just gonna verify with the rest of the units if it's the same thing. And we're just gonna close this back. So I'm gonna pause the video for a moment and then we're gonna move on to the next unit down there and see if it's the same result. So we have tested temperature with this one and we have confirmed that it is indeed working fine, but it needs to be cleaned. That's what's stopping the air from circulating into this building and dropping that BTU fast, right? Which is why that temperature gauge was going up the further away we went from it. Because these are the coils at the top that actually circulate the air, help to draw down that temperature inside the room, right? But the vent pressure coming out from down here is really great. So let's get busy. We're gonna pause the video a minute. I'm gonna go to the other one. All right, so we're at the second one now. We did start from that one in the middle there. That was really dirty. Now we're gonna start at this one here now. And basically, if you look at that ambient temperature, it's even higher than down there. This is actually 30 degrees Celsius, which is equivalent to 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, you don't have to have a tool like this. You have many wireless one, which you can get actually to, you know, make your stuff a little bit more, you know, advanced, which, you know, but these were quite fine for me. It's give very, very, very accurate reading and stuff. So we're gonna climb up there and we're gonna measure that vent pressure coming out of this one. So if you wanna climb with me, let's get climbing. All right, so let's go here. All right. And these are very, as a technician, you want to do this step by step and follow these steps to the T, because you want to ensure that whenever you diagnose something, you diagnose it correctly, right? And then you don't leave your job undone. So here we go. We'll put this into the vent here inside. Remember, you can put it anywhere in the vent where the air is coming out, because that's where it's coming straight from those evaporator coils. And you plug it in there and let's see. And that is working quite fine as well. As long as it's not over 20 degrees Celsius, you know that this is functioning quite fine. And that's 57 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a very normal temperature for a room of an ambient temperature, like about 28 or so on and so on. Very, very normal. So let's do the open up test up the top. Let's see what surprise lie there for us now. We're gonna open up the top. So let's go. And we're gonna put one side first. Let's see what here. Boom, 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 boom. We're gonna have to actually rest the camera down here or pause the video or something so I can use both of my hands here. Let's see. All right, so wow, it's the same treatment. Just look at that, all that dust, and wow, this hasn't been clean in a year time. This is very, very dirty. So if you guys AC have not been cleaned in a year, you have it at home or wherever, you know, especially the big ones like these. But these are almost next to commercial ones. So if you have a big one like this in your living room or so, haven't cleaned in a year, you find out it's not cooling. Maybe it just probably need to be cleaned. So look at that dust, ladies and gentlemen, need to be cleaned. So we're gonna close this one. We have one final one to test, and let's see, we're gonna go over to that one. Let's work. I'm giving you a full tutorial how to clean this thing effectively. All right, I know this video can be a little bit long, but it's really a step-by-step process. Technicians out there and aspiring technicians, you wanna get it right. Let's go. Okay guys, so we're at the final one here. We're gonna check the ambient temperature, which is basically the surrounding temperature. It's 29 degrees Celsius, 85 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're gonna go up to the vent like we did, and we're gonna do and see what happens. Let's get up there. All right, so we're at the vent, and we're gonna plug in our tester here. I want to look at that number and see how dramatically it actually falls. So put it in the vent there. There it goes. 14 degrees, 55 degrees Fahrenheit, or even down to 11. So this is working quite fine. We know this one to be clean as well. We're gonna lift up the vent anyways, or the top cover I should say, and have a look underneath the hood. And let's see what's going on up there. All right, so we're gonna actually lift this off. All right, so as you see, it's very dirty, just the same way as the other ones are. Brown looking dust. I don't know the chemical name for these kind of stuff, why it's so brown, I don't know. I'm not a chemist, but needs to be cleaned, and I can tell that coil is very dirty. So it is time, ladies and gentlemen, it is really time to bring out the big guns. And we will be bringing out our cleaning equipment, and you guys will be seeing exactly how we clean these air conditioners here. And we're showing you step by step. We have our cleaning kits to actually clean this on really, really, really good. And we're gonna bring out the big guns now. Let's get cleaning. So we have confirmed that these ACs needs to be clean. And these are the steps you want to take, technicians. You want to do it step by step. Be patient, don't rush trying to finish 5 jobs in one day. You want to ensure that when you come to a spot, you finish it right so you don't get callbacks, because callbacks are not good for your review, and you don't want no bad reviews, right? So you want to do it right the first time. So let's go. We're going to bring out the cleaning equipment and show you guys how we actually clean this stuff and get this all nice and squeaky clean. All right, let's go.